She's come in with a best of 15 minutes and 36 seconds. So you're talking about a 5:03 mile pace. 5:02 in that range that she's averaged for this 3.1 mile distance. They're backing everybody up, aren't they, here? Including the 200s. No false starts, hopefully, at 5K.
Unless your feet are off the line. Let's try it again. On your marks.
So University of Oregon with 2 entries in this race. Ronald Crossman from Oregon and Alex Kosinski, the senior from Oregon. All 60 competitors there in the box. Deborah Mayer has the best time in the country amongst the collegiate ranks this year, 15:29.24 on oversized track. Sally Kipiego, formerly of Texas Tech, winner of many NCAA titles when she was at that school, now a member of the Kenyan International Championships team, may make the Olympic team this summer. She's run 15:15.41 this season. Kathy Kroger of Stanford in the early lead. Is that Betsy Sina? No, that's Lufane Tuliamuk of Wichita State there, number 10. He's tucked in behind her. Crossman of Oregon is also up there.
Then Kosinski of Oregon on Sata's shoulder.
The men's long jump has wrapped up, and wide receiver down at Texas, Marquise Goodwin, had a terrific high school career as a long jumper, and he gets out 26 feet 2 1/4 inches. This competition was so close.
NCAA champion outdoor last year, and the World Championship member was Goodwin.
Right, and he winds up in 3rd place. In 2nd, DeMar Forbes from LSU. Wow, what explosion off the board. Speed, strength, explosiveness key. He gets out 26 2 3/4 for 2nd. And a man who rose to the occasion extraordinarily well, Kendall Spencer from New Mexico. And the Lobo wins the long jump, 26 feet 3 1/2 inches.
Just 1.25 inches separate 1st from 3rd in the men's long jump. That's really slicing the bologna thin.
It's tight at the top, huh, Dwight? In the high jump, you knew that all too well, didn't you?
Yeah, yep. If you got away with a 1.25 inch victory, that wasn't bad. So back to the women's 5,000. Kathy Kroger of Stanford continuing to lead over Alafine Tuliamuk of Wichita State, Betsy Sina of Iowa State, and Natasha Rogers of Texas A&M. Debbie Mayer of Cal is also right up there.
Pace. 3:07.71 for the first 1,000 meters.
It's honest enough to string them out reasonably well. A little punching in the front 7 or 8.
Washington, then Deborah Mayer, and then Megan Nelson of Iowa State. So the South Coast have 2 runners among that front back there. There's been very long separation thus far. It's still Kroger and
so everyone is seemingly happy to follow Kathy Kroger so far. And like the men, several of these women doubling back, trying to put out as little energy as possible to get as high a finish as possible.
And you're right, and these ladies will do the same thing. Many running the 3,000 meters as well. They generally qualified for that, and they have that coming up within 24 hours, and that's a tough double.
Arizona has moved up to the 9th now. It is still Kroger and Tillman.
2 runners from Oregon in this race at Texas A&M. There are some team implications. You never know where you pick up a 6th or 7th place. It doesn't seem that important at the time on the first day, and then all of a sudden things change. Somebody gets injured, somebody doesn't perform as well as they were supposed to, and suddenly that 6th or 7th place in the 5,000 means something.
Yes, exactly right.
3:07.71.
And they're coming up to the 1,600-meter mark here. 5:02. Add a couple of seconds for the full mile. 5:04 for the first full mile. Very honest pace. The fastest collegiate time this year is 15:29 for 5,000 meters. And a woman is in the race, just letting everybody do the work right now. And I'm referring to Deborah Mayer, the junior from California. She's in 5th place right now, just tucked in behind everybody.
Really not a lot of change here in these early laps of this 5,000. Some bunching at the front, but for the most part, after the top 6 or 7, single file line.
Betsy Sena, who we mentioned and identified, has the 2nd fastest time at 15:36. Tuliamak from Wichita. All 3 of these ladies are juniors. 15:36 as well. Clustered right up in front on the right of the screen right there, number 6. That is Deborah Mayer. She's wearing hip number 5, excuse me. That is her back there. Her brother ran for Tony Sandoval, the head coach at Cal Berkeley, back about 13 years ago, and was a 3:44 1,500-meter runner. So the talent is certainly in that family. Very strong Cal Berkeley family. He told me, he said, I've had somebody else who was on the team as well in the family, and other brothers and sisters have gone to Cal Berkeley, so they're all Bears.
Now we're seeing Alex Kosinski of Oregon start to move up a little bit. Remember, these events are all scored down to 8th place. 10 points for first, 8 points for second, 6 points for third, and all the way down to 1 point for 8. And determining All-American honors, it goes all the way down to the 8th American. So you can finish 12th, but if there are 4 foreigners in front of you, you're an All-American. So Kathy Kroger's been doing the work from the get-go. And Alafine Tuliamak of Wichita State has been happy to stand right there next to her or just slightly behind her. Betsy Sina, Natasha Rogers, Debbie Mayer. Laps remaining.
At the halfway mark.
There's Andrew Irwin. We are live here on the infield. Irwin attempting 18 feet a half inch. National high school record holder. And the bar stays. In second place right now at 18 and a half inches, having cleared 18 feet a half inch, having cleared that. Marvin Wrights from South Carolina is the leader as the bar stays on.
Gave that a pretty good whack and it stayed on. Very, very fortunate several years ago, they shortened the pegs by more than half. And usually that kind of a pop will dislodge the bar, but he hit it just right.
Last year he broke Pat Manson's 25-year-old high school pole vault record, getting up over 17.7, and then went on to jump 17.9½ before he headed out of high school. Young man from Mount Ida, Arkansas. They didn't let him out of the state.
So back to the 5,000 with less than 10 laps remaining now. Sina now taking over from Kathy Kroger. That's the first lead change we've seen so far. Tilly Mook covers the move.
Betsy Sina and Tulia back into first and second.
Now Deborah Mayer is also making a move to stay up amongst the leaders.
About 10:16 past the 2-mile mark. I only give miles because more people understand that than simply saying 3,200 meters. So the pace slowed a little bit to 5:12 per mile. In the second mile, we have just about a mile to go here left in this race. Sana doing the work, keeping her right there. Deborah Mayer, the junior from University of California, Berkeley. Alapine Tuliamuk in third place from Wichita State.
Less than 8 laps remaining. Debbie Mayer happy to let Sina do the work. Tuliamuk down there back in third.
Nelson and Sutherland. Those are your scores here. As Sana starts to pick up the pace a little bit, with 7 laps to go. Sana, Mayer, and Tulia.
Battling these ladies are. 8 positions will score. And as Dwight said an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, and so forth down for those 8 places are the point scores you get. Looking very comfortable is Mayer in second place. She also has the 5th fastest time coming in at 3,000 meters, having run 9:02 on an oversized track for 3K. Tuliamuk trying to hold on in third place and stay within striking distance for the title. 6 laps to go.
Debbie Mayer just refuses to be dropped. Sina is trying to up the ante over this last couple of laps, and Mayer is just tightening up the distance. Tuliamuk is having a tough time hanging on back there in third. That gap has gotten a little bit too big. But Mayer is in a great position if she has the gas in the tank to hang with Sina. Start to lap slower runners. 5 laps to go. Deborah Mayer of Cal, now the hunter.
I think she looks great, Dwight. And, you know, look, people fall apart as we've seen. But she looks comfortable here. She's just biding her time. Totally, eyes look clear, just focused on what she's doing here. Letting somebody else, again, push the breeze aside. It doesn't sound like much, but it wears to lead. The leader tends to feel that they're a person without a strong enough kick to outkick everybody. And that's why they try and force the pace. I know, because that's what I had to do. And it wasn't fun sometimes.
4 laps to go. And Betsy Sina continued to try to push the pace, trying to drop Deborah Mayer of Cal, the collegiate leader. And a little gap starts to develop, and then Mayer closes it.
Mayer's had a wonderful improvement, having run just over 5 minutes for the mile in high school from a small town in Northern California.
And down the home straight, our leaders, stride for stride. It is Betsy Sina.
3 laps remaining in the women's 5,000 meters. It's Betsy Sina of Iowa State who has been pushing the pace for about the last 6 laps over Deborah Mayer, the junior from Cal, who has the best time in the country amongst collegiate 5,000-meter runners. Saina trying to take the kick out of Mayer. So far, Larry, it just hasn't worked.
Right, the leaders went by the mile mark in 5 minutes and 4 seconds, and the pace slowed a little bit. And despite that, no one stepped up the pace. They ran 5:12 for the second mile, 10:16 by 2 miles. And then the rest of the athletes started to fall away one by one. Tuliamuk from Wichita State was hanging up there. She's gone back. And it's down to 2 here, laps with 2 laps to go.
400 meters remaining, and Saina just has not found the formula for dropping Deborah Mayer. Maybe she's going to just sit back, maybe gather herself a little bit and try to pull off a kick. Mayer looks very, very strong, but can she match her stride for stride when it comes right down to it? A couple times she slipped back. She's very quickly regained contact. Mayer fixated on the back of Saina to look for any weakness and be able to react when the inevitable move is made. Coming up to the bell, and Mayer makes her move.
And when you make the move, you go as hard as you can. 1 to go. 15:06 with a lap to go.
So far, not definitive enough, and now the roles change. Now Mayer is pushing away the air. She doesn't have the turnover, and Saina comes right back on her down the final backstretch. And Mayer's holding her off and can't do it. Saina drops in, and that'll usually finish someone who's trying to hold somebody off. The gap now widens, and it's going to be Betsy Saina, who's run a very smart last couple of laps. Deborah Mayer did the best she could to stay close, but Saina wins it over Deborah Mayer. She is the NCAA champion at 5,000 meters.